So you want to make your Glock trigger better? Okay, let's do that. It can be done pretty cheaply and easily with this mother's polish here and a Dremel tool. You can use a cloth buffing wheel, or what I've got on here is a really fine Scotch-Brite. That'll work just fine. I'm not going to get real deep into how to break it down. You guys can find other videos how to do that if you need to, if you don't know how to already. But we'll go ahead and field strip this thing down, and then we'll go ahead and break it down even further as well. Get our firing pin out. Extractor, safety plunger. Okay, and I'll set everything here that we're going to need, that's going to need polished, that will improve our trigger. Everything else can go off to the side for now. So I like to put these ghost connectors in. What I have used before is the 3.5 pound connector. This is the 3.0. I'm going to try it and see if I like it any better. Let's get our old connector out. Pretty dirty, just a good old stock connector. So the things we're going to polish with our mother's polish here is going to be all the metal parts that interface in the trigger mechanism. The trigger bar, the connector, the safety plunger, and the firing pin. And I'll show you where to polish all of those things right now. So on the trigger bar, you're going to polish the top of the cruciform all up in here, the inside down here. You will want to polish this arc really well, right here, and the back of this little T-spot on the cruciform as well. What's going on here is that your firing pin is gliding along the top of this and locking behind that, so all those surfaces are mating and touching, and this surface is mating with your connector when it is inside the trigger block, or whatever that thing's called down there. You also polish the safety plunger, the face of this, because what it does is as you push your trigger back, it glides up, it rides up that trigger, pushing this out of the way so your safety, or so your firing pin can go forward. This is one of the safeties that's in a Glock, and that's how it works. As you push the trigger back, it pushes that up, disengaging it from locking the firing pin in place. So we polish this as well. That right there in and of itself will make a huge difference with your trigger. It'll take out a lot of the grittiness. It might lower the weight just a little bit, maybe half a pound or so, but it takes out the grittiness and just makes it feel a lot smoother. I really like these ghost connectors though. This is the Angel 3.0. I have not used this one. I'm normally using the 3.5. One of their 3.5s. I'll put a link down in the description for this. You guys can go pick these up if you're interested in them. They take a lot of the initial play out of the trigger before it hits the wall, and makes the reset just a little bit faster as well. I'm going to go ahead and install this, and I'm going to polish the same parts on this that need polished, that you would polish if you were keeping the stock connector. So on this connector, what we're going to polish, I'm going to go ahead and do it first. You're basically going to wind up polishing the whole thing because your buffing wheel is going to be so much bigger than these micro detailed parts are. But we're going to focus on this area right in here and this little groove right in here. Like I said, all of it's going to wind up getting hit. I'm just going to go ahead and polish the whole thing up real nice on this front end. It's not a bad idea to wear some safety glasses because it can fling things. I'm going to run my speed as high as I can without making a mess. Don't have to be a nice Dremel like this. I've got a corded one out in the shop that you can buy at your home improvement store for like 20 bucks. So whatever you got to work. this is what I'm going to use for in here. And I think that's it. So you can just grab an old rag, wipe all those parts off real good, kind of get an idea what we're looking at. I feel like a cotton buffing wheel would have held the mothers a little better than that Scotch-Brite wheel did. The Scotch-Brite wheel kind of wanted to fling it off, but you can see a remarkable difference. Obviously it was dirty, but you can see how shiny that is with just a few minutes of polishing. And I could go farther than that if I wanted to. I do need to hit this real quick. That's an important one. Yeah, it looks a whole lot better. Yeah, you can see that thing. Even new, I was able to make a good improvement on the polish. The mothers you can get at like AutoZone or any automotive store. People use it for shining up aluminum wheels and stuff, and that's actually what I originally bought it for. All right, let's reassemble this bad boy. All right, we are right back to having her put back together. So there is a teeny tiny bit of what I might call pre-travel. But it is less of a two-stage trigger than it was before. I done it once with just the connector and compared the original connector to this connector, and it was still a little gritty. And the polish job was a significant improvement. It just feels less gritty. Yeah, the polish job helped that a whole bunch. Initially, I thought it was going to go bing and break really fast. So I was initially a little bit disappointed in that connector, but the more I play with it, they said it's the same smooth feel all the way through, and that's kind of true. It's not really like a lighter movement to the wall. There's a little bit of that, but there's less. But the trigger, it is a little bit shorter. Let's see that reset again. The reset's shorter and it's sharper. So, all in all, I'd say I'd probably do it that way again. I'm still kind of comparing this to my Glock 19X trigger, which has got the benefit of probably 4,000 or 5,000 rounds through it, as well as having lighter springs. I'm still thinking that this isn't as good because it's not as light, and it's not really fair because I haven't changed the springs on it yet. But I do like the way that this trigger is breaking and resetting, especially compared to the stock Glock trigger. Anyway, the connector's not what this was about. The polish job really made a massive difference in how gritty that trigger feels. It just moves through its travel a little smoother now. So if I do this at speed, it feels even better than just sitting there staring at it and watching the trigger move. So I actually like it a lot, that connector a lot. The reset's fast and the reset's really sharp, so yeah, I'm digging the connector more. And as cheap and easy as it is to do, it took me longer to film this than it would have if I was just doing it. You can do that in 5 minutes if you know how to break your gun down and put it back together. Give it a try, guys. I hope this helps you. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.